Paranormal activity is something that has fascinated people for years. Sightings of the unexplained have existed for centuries and continue to be documented today at some of the most haunted places around the world. Those who believe in its existence believe that paranormal activity is the result of a tragedy that happened in years past, and the spirits of those involved are unable to rest. As such, they appear at the last place they were alive regularly. For some, this is at a hotel where spirits are known to frighten guests, as is the case at the most haunted hotels in the United States. For others, where they passed could be on or near bodies of water. Vacation destinations are consistently chosen throughout the year, specifically because there is paranormal activity present. While many tend to choose landmarks on land where hauntings have been recorded, others choose to see eerie bodies of water and hear the tales of how the paranormal activity came to be. Here are some of the most haunted bodies of water around the world to consider traveling to. Number 10. Manchac Swamp, Louisiana. During the early 20th century, Lake Pontchartrain was the home of the small towns of Ruddock, Frenier, and Napton. There were no creature comforts, but the people in these settlements were able to sustain themselves via logging and harvesting cabbage. One of these townspeople was Julia Brown. Brown was known for singing on her front porch and making up songs. A particular song that Brown sang did not sit well with others in the town of Frenier. This is because the song sang about death and destruction. Aunt Julia Brown always sat on her front porch and played her guitar and sang songs that she would make up. Helen Schlosser-Berg, a longtime resident of Frenier, explained. The words to one of the songs she sang said that one day she would die and everything would die with her. In 1915, Brown passed away. On the day of her funeral, a massive hurricane came out of nowhere, destroying much of Ruddock, Frenier, and Napton. Some say this is a coincidence. Others claim the hurricane appeared because Brown felt taken for granted and cursed the area, marking the first time the supernatural made its appearance in the area. This curse seems to have left Brown unable to move on to the afterlife, as her spirit has been seen on the banks of the Manchac Swamp, and her cackling has been reported by witnesses as well. Number 9. The Bermuda Triangle, North Atlantic Ocean. The Bermuda Triangle earned its name as a result of the mysterious disappearances that have occurred in the body of water that can be found in the area between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. However, there is paranormal activity that has claimed to have been seen in this expansive stretch of water over the years as well. Since September 1950, there have been stories of the unexplained happening in the Bermuda Triangle. From ghost ship sightings, some with crew, some without, to unexplained radio activity on ships and technology suddenly shorting out in planes. There is no explanation for what occurs in the Devil's Triangle. As much as scholars try to find a logical explanation for lost ships or crew, in many instances what happened out at sea remains a mystery. Number 8. Chuuk Lagoon, Micronesia. During World War II, Chuuk Lagoon was where the Japanese stored their fleet in the South Pacific. However, the location was discovered by the Allied forces and ultimately destroyed in Operation Hailstorm. Not only were the ships in the lagoon sunk, but many of the men on them perished as well. As such, Chuuk Lagoon has become the largest shipwreck site in the world. Those who scuba dive there have claimed to hear voices speaking Japanese since the bombing in the mid-1940 and have experienced cold spots in the normally warm water and currents that should not exist. On top of seeing the wreckage that occurred in 1945 and the fact that there are skeletal remains at the bottom of the lagoon, it is no wonder that it is one of the most haunted bodies of water in the world. Number 7. White Rock Lake, Texas. Before Dallas decided to make White Rock Lake a body of water that could not be used for swimming in 1952, Residents frequented the lake to cool off from the Texas heat. Perhaps this was not because it was a needed water source, as the city claimed. The ban on swimming may have been to keep Dallas residents safe instead. It is said that there is a young woman dressed in white that haunts White Rock Lake. A sighting was first recorded in 1943 by a couple who was enjoying some time together at sunset on the banks of the lake. "I'm sorry to intrude, and I would not under any other circumstances, but I must find a way home immediately," the woman wearing white explained to the couple. "My boat overturned. The others are safe, but I must get home." The woman was soaked from head to toe and was visibly distressed. The couple helped the woman into the back seat of the car. She gave them an address to go to. But when the couple turned around to ask for directions, the woman was gone, and all that remained was a wet back seat. Curious to see if the address was of someone the woman knew, the couple drove there. A man at the residence told them a story they would not forget. "This is a very strange thing. You are the third couple who has come to me with this story," the man said. "3 weeks ago, while sailing on White Rock Lake, my daughter drowned." Sightings have been seen since that time by both residents and people visiting the state, or maybe just enjoying a weekend getaway in Texas. Other couples over the year also traveled to the address the woman gave them, only to be told by the man that his daughter had drowned at the lake. Number 6. Devil's Pool, Australia. While Devil's Pool is known as the washing machine by locals today, it was once a calmer body of water. That is, until an Aboriginal woman sprung the waters to life, having lost her true love. A woman named Ulana was married to an elder in her tribe that she did not love. When a touring tribe came through the area, Ulana fell madly in love with one of its members, Diga. The two ran away from their tribe so that they could be together. Ulana and Diga were located by elders of Ulana's tribe at Devil's Pool. To escape the tribe, Ulana went into the water and called out for Diga to join her. Unfortunately, she drowned in the process. As a result of Ulana's screams, legend has it that she made the water churn and boulders fall around her. Since that time, Devil's Pool has been a rushing torrent of water that has claimed the lives of male tourists over the years, beginning in 1933 with the tragic death of Mr. T. Winterbottom, whose body was never recovered. Number 5. Gardner Lake, Connecticut. A popular lake for fishing and swimming, Gardner Lake is also a place known for its paranormal activity. In 1985, the LeCount family decided to move their 2-story house from one side of the lake to the other. They attached sleds to the house and began the process of sliding their home across the frozen lake. Unfortunately, there was a miscalculation in how much time it would take for the house to be moved. As the day came to an end, the family decided to get some sleep and begin the process of moving the next morning. The lake had other ideas, though, and over the course of the evening the house broke through the ice and began to sink. While there were no lives lost during the move, there were plenty of household items that sank with the house, including a piano that remained upright after it landed on the lake bottom. To this day, scuba divers and fishermen claim they can hear piano music playing at the bottom of the lake, though it is unclear when the sound of the piano started playing. It is also unknown if it is a spirit of one of the family members who could not leave the home behind or a spirit that was haunting the residents before the home met its watery demise. Number 4. Manzanita Beach, Oregon. Manzanita Beach is not only rife with ghost sightings but also makes for a fun locale for those who enjoy the sport of treasure hunting. As the legend goes, Spanish sailors shipwrecked off the coast of Manzanita Beach during the 16th century. Not wanting their treasure stolen, they decided to hike up Neahkani Mountain to bury the gold to keep it safe. To keep would-be thieves from taking the treasure, the sailors killed one or more people and buried them with the treasure as a warning to leave any gold found. Since that time, paranormal activity has been witnessed on the trails with those who believe, stating it is the ghosts of those who were murdered. The activity noticed on the trails has been during the day, the same time that would-be treasure hunters have met their demise, first noted in 1931. However, there is no telling what might happen on the haunted hiking trails after dark. More interesting still, many have witnessed piles of rocks stacked down on the beach in the morning. However, over the decades that this has occurred, no one has ever been seen making these massive formations. As such, it is believed that spirits are coming from the sea or down from the trails to make a pile of rocks or even piles of snow during the winter season. Number 3. Okiku's well, Japan. A female servant, Okiku, worked for a samurai named Tetsuzen Aoyama. The married samurai made advances toward Okiku, which she consistently rebuffed. Tired of being rejected by Okiku, Aoyama devised a plan that would force her to submit to him. The plan was to break one of 10 valuable plates and blame Okiku. The only way she would not be punished and Aoyama would come clean would be if Okiku accepted his advances. Instead of doing what Aoyama thought Okiku thought she would do, Okiku instead threw herself down a well. From that point on, Okiku's voice could be heard counting from 1 to 9. When 10 was reached, Okiku's screams were heard. The counting was believed to be Okiku, accounting for 9 of the 10 valuable plates. Years later, a man, be it a priest or samurai, jumps out from behind the bushes when 10 is about to be said by Okiku's spirit. It is said that this stopped the cries of Okiku, because the missing plate was finally accounted for. Number 2. Loch Ness, Scotland. The legend of the Loch Ness Monster is one that is alive and well today. Those who have claimed to have seen Nessie since the creature was first sighted in the 7th century describe it as a serpent or dinosaur. However, no one has truly been able to define what is in Loch Ness Lake. It was not until almost a century ago, in 1933, that the lake in Loch Ness became such a tourist attraction when a photo was taken of an unknown entity. This happened after a man claimed to see a prehistoric creature on the banks of the lake. People then came in droves trying to catch a glimpse of the unexplainable monster, which to this day brings in 300,000 tourists yearly. Is Nessie a monster, prehistoric creature, or paranormal entity? Thus far, no one truly knows. Number 1. Lower Yellowstone Falls, Wyoming. In 1870, a group of explorers was being led through Yellowstone by a crow guide in hopes of finding gold. When it was time to settle in for the day, the group went to sleep, not worried about another band of Native Americans scouted to be about 4 miles away. During the night, however, the sheep-eaters came to the camp and stole horses from the guides. This was not discovered until daybreak. With the help of their crow guide, the explorers were able to locate the other tribe. They were at the top of the falls trying to cross. However, the current proved to be too strong. The sheep-eaters were unable to cross on their raft and were ultimately dragged over the falls, where they were heard singing their death song. To this day, those who visit the falls claim to be able to hear the death song being chanted. Others still have claimed that the river at the bottom of the falls flows red from time to time as if it contained blood. So, we have shared with you top 10 most haunted bodies of water around the world. Hope they will be useful to you. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.